Welcome back. Just hit 100 subs, so pretty dope. And I today am going to be reacting to YouTube's Darkest Iceberg Part 2. A lot of people seem to like the first one. And the person who was the 100th subscriber told me to do this, and I'm doing it. I was going to do it anyway, but it's the priority now. Anyway, welcome to the channel. It's Evan Glare. I do all kinds of shit on this channel. So if you like that, maybe for whatever reason, hit subscribe. And I stream basically every night. Pretty late for the States, but I do stream a lot. Anyway, let's go and get into this YouTube's Darkest Iceberg Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1, I'll link it down in the description and on the thumbnail of this. It's pretty good.
We get darker and darker.
All right. I'll shut up now. Let's go. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, what? Why did it pause? Here we go.
Icebergs. One of nature's most awe-inspiring creations. Both beautiful and
There's
treacherous.
that beautiful analog horror. Which I've done a bunch of analog horror reactions to. Definitely go watch those.
Welcome back to part 2 of YouTube's Darkest Iceberg.
Thank you.
With this format, each level will progressively get darker and darker until we reach the very bottom, where I'll go over some of the content here that, to this day, leaves me utterly disturbed. And like last time, I'll be having some friends join me and guiding me down to the very depths of this iceberg. But unlike last time, things are about to get much, much more disturbing. So sit back, relax, and I will see you all at the very bottom.
Uh-oh. Level 5, the predators below.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, it's your boy Carcass Husband back to you with another.
Holy shit, that guy has a deep voice. Sorry, took me back there. It's like what's his name? Corpse Husband. Shit. Anyway, sorry.
This shit's so fucking difficult. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the pedophiles. Romeo Lacoste. Once considered one of the most prominent tattoo artists in the celebrity sphere, Romeo ran a YouTube channel centered
Dude, the guy's voice is like literally vibrating my whole body.
Around his career, where he would accrue fame after racking up over 1 million subscribers. Though before long, predatory accusations began to emerge about his interactions with young fans behind the scenes.
There's so much of that shit on YouTube. Why is there so fucking much? What is it? What? I forgot that guy's name. Tobias something. He's a Minecraft streamer. Kind of fucked up real hard. And a lot more. It's way too rampant on YouTube.
In March of 2019, a series of DMs and text messages between Romeo and 2 girls would be released, with the messages coming from back in 2016, when the girls were just 14 and 15 years old. Despite their young age, Romeo sent them a manifold of vile and sexually charged messages, all the while knowing full well he was chatting with minors. And from then on, his once
Have a seat. Have a seat.
enjoyable life began to cascade down an agonizing staircase of anguish as more allegations were lobbied in his way. His ex-girlfriend went on record and claimed she too was groomed by him, being only 14 at the time they started dating, while he was 19. There was little silly Romeo could say to defend himself in the wake of these allegations. And as predators usually do, he somehow managed to make things even worse for himself by opening his foul mouth.
There's a part where you say, are you willing to do it before you turn 18?
Yes, so let me address that. So that, I'm not going to deny that was real, but here's the twist. Here's the big...
Fucked up. I mean, rotten hell, throw him under the fucking jail or prison or whatever. But yeah, that was a big fuck up right there.
Loop about it. Here's the big sort of like, you know, fabrication, smoke and mirrors or whatever that everyone's not getting to see is that, you know, a lot of these girls, I'll just make a quick backtrack. I'll keep it really short.
It is now clear that Romeo is in fact yet another statistic in the long line of pathetic internet predators who have gone unpunished. And this has not stopped him from continuing his career as an influencer. Despite his channel...
Man, God, getting popular now is exactly the same goddamn hell that I went through in high school. Like, you have fuckwads like that are, everyone likes them. They have charisma or whatever. I know I'm very much lacking in that, I'm sure, but they don't get shit done to them. Here I am struggling for a year trying to make to 100 fucking subscribers. Am I gonna do? Oh yeah, it's your boy. No, fuck all that. I'm not doing
floating dead like a bloated corpse in the murky waters of YouTube history. He has gone on to grow a sizable following on TikTok, many of whom are unaware of his disturbing history.
Sure.
I could have been a predator. In what may go down as one of the most sussy self-reports on YouTube, a creator by the name of Glendon Cameron would post a video in 2021 titled, "I could have been a predator. That R. Kelly energy is different and all-consuming."
What?
Okay. In it, the 55-year-old man shares a story about sleeping with a 17-year-old girl. Apparently, she had told him that she was...
Hold the fuck on. Did he say 55? Hold the fuck on.
That R. Kelly energy is different and all-consuming. Okay. In it, the 55-year-old man shares a story about sleeping with a 17-year-old girl. Apparently, she had told him that she was actually 21, and yet despite discovering she was still a senior in high school while he himself was over 40 years old, he made the decision to continue sleeping with her for the next 5 years while persisting to admit he had much similar instances with other young girls.
And I was like, I need you to tell me something. How old are you? And then she got very silent and she said, I'll be 18 in 4 months. And you know what I kept doing? I kept f***ing her.
On top of his
I probably shouldn't have said that.
A strategic move to confess to this, he would also go on to express sympathy for R. Kelly, comparing themselves as they both seem to have an appetite for younger girls.
I have a similar appetite to R. Kelly. I like young women.
Before further dismissing claims that R. Kelly was a predator by saying,
R. Kelly is being portrayed as a predator, right?
That's what he
hold a
is.
gun to these women's heads?
Currently, Glendon runs a channel called the Institute of Economic Thought. Okay, why the fuck do predators always title their like this, like they're some kind of pretentious intellectual? We see right through you.
It's like that guy that ran that how to get chicks or how to pick up women or something. Oh my god, anyway.
Buddy, shut the fuck up. It has over 100,000 subscribers, not to mention his other countless pages hosting utterly garbage content. EDP 445 was probably one of the most explosive stories in all of 2021 YouTube. EDP was a once popular creator who had been caught attempting...
I have seen that man's giant shit, and it's awful. Do not recommend it.
To meet a 13-year-old girl whom he had been sending explicit messages to for months.
We have you talking to Sophie.
Cupcake.
Correct, yes or no?
Here we go.
And before we get into the messages,
Cupcake
there was
time.
sexual content involved, yes or no?
Right.
And you said
Correct.
Okay, all right. So what brings you out here today?
Oh, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake.
Cupcake! Cupcake time. One cupcake. He said a cupcake. A cupcake. Singular. The most unbelievable thing about this whole story is that he was just going to eat one cupcake. Sorry, not fat shaming or anything, but let's be real. The motherfucker was not coming for a singular cupcake.
This led to the instantaneous removal of his YouTube channel.
Even if he were going to eat cupcakes, he's not. He did not do that.
And what many assumed to be the end of his online career. As on top of this, the infamous cupcake incident was far from the first time allegations have come out against him. It would seem he has a long history with messaging minors. Interestingly, in spite of the immense backlash he's faced, he is still attempting to make a comeback to this day, having been caught on sites like Vimeo, TikTok, and of course, YouTube, where he recently started a new channel within just a few weeks of Nick starting this video. Though all of these accounts, to our knowledge, have since been taken down.
Good.
The fact he's still trying to carve his silly self back into the online sphere after everything he's done means that this likely won't be the last time we hear from him. What saddens me the most, though, is the fact that these new pages quickly gain a considerable amount of fanfare in their short lifespan.
How? How the fuck does that shit happen? This motherfucker needs to, again, be thrown under the jail. Just make a jail under the jail and throw all these motherfuckers in there.
As many of his fans have forgiven him for his predatory ways.
Why? Why the fuck would... Waiting for that asteroid.
Sad. Plasma Master Don, once considered a wholesome figure by masses on the internet.
I was about to say, oh yeah, that's an alpha male name, and then he popped up, and oh my, okay, all right.
Known for his shitty covers of popular songs.
Oh, no way. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. I gotta see something. Tell me this is not him. Tell me this is not how they got Herbert from Family Guy. Herbert on Family. Oh my god. Awful.
It would eventually be publicly unveiled.
His singing actually sounds like his voice too.
By the one and only Nick Crowley, that this feeble elderly man, Donzel Owens Jr., was actually a convicted sex offender. Called it, but perhaps the most surprising...
Hold on, what did he say about Crowley?
Some figure by masses on the internet, known for his shitty covers of popular songs.
Dude, that's fucking Herbert from Family Guy.
It would eventually be publicly unveiled by the one and only Nicholas Crowley that this feeble elderly man, Donzel Owens Jr., was actually a convicted sex offender. Called it, but perhaps the most surprising development came in the weeks following the expose Nick made about him, as the Don would soon brutally die after this. The plot twist of Plasma Master Don's anti-redemption arc on YouTube truly remains one of the most captivating stories ever to unfold in this platform, and shows us yet again that even the most wholesome personalities on camera are still capable of doing some of the greatest evils behind closed doors.
Yep.
7 Super Girls. Perhaps one of the most high-profile predator cases in YouTube's history. 7 Super Girls was a channel that had amassed over 9 million subscribers. Its content ranged from shopping...
I have no idea how I would approach 9 million subscribers. That's not even the realm of possibility for me. It blows my mind.
Skits to daily routines, but at its core was always centered around a variety of teenage girls, as this was also the page's targeted demographic, at least as it appeared on the surface. Its creator, a man named Ian Rylett, was also the founder of a variety of other teen-based channels, with the man garnering a staggering 17 million subscribers in total. And for years he operated these channels with minimal controversy, earning him an enormous amount of wealth in the process. As is the normal life cycle with channels like these, it would all come crashing down in 2019 when he was accused of molesting one of the underage actresses he hired. On top of this, Ian would often undress this particular actress and threaten her with fines if she refused to...
Anyone shocked by this? Show me your shocked face.
...give in to his demands. Upon the allegation being made, it would also be brought to light that the contracts he forced solely to his underage actresses to sign were concerning, to say the least.
Can you have an underage person sign a contract without your parents co-signing? I actually don't know the answer to that. Curious if anyone knows. Let me know if I'm right or wrong.
With one line reading, it is likely there will be physical or bodily contact, potentially of an intimate nature. You pedophiles never fail to disgust the world around you. The discovery eventually led to Ian's arrest, to which he would plead guilty of molestation and be charged with lewd or lascivious battery of a minor. And what was his punishment, you may be wondering? Life in prison? That'll do. 20 years. I'll take that. 10 years? Better than nothing. 5 years.
Nothing.
Okay, you're pushing it.
Nothing.
1 year? You are joking, right? No, how about 90 days?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he got sentenced to 3 months in prison.
Fuck off.
Anyway, Ian's...
Fuck off. Like, how does anyone come up with that? 90 fucking days for being a pedophile? How? Like, what is even like the train of thought there? Like for the judge or whatever. I don't know if he was in a, fuck, I can't think of it. I don't know if he had a jury or whatever, if it was just like him and the judge, like sometimes that happens. But what the fuck, man? 90 days?
Channels were terminated by YouTube, and that's the end of 7 Supergirls.
Yeah, I bet.
Fake challenges. Though the focus of this section has solely been on creators, in reality the majority of the predators here on YouTube are hiding in the audience. Very early on, disturbed individuals discovered that if they could find little-known YouTube channels run by young kids, they could coerce them into performing lewd acts for them, and they did so under the guise of fake challenges. Essentially, the commenter would propose a challenge they made up themselves in order to have the child creator get into a suggestive pose or perform an action with sexual undertones. For example, one of these predators would comment on a child's video saying they should try the bend over challenge or the shower challenge, spurring kids to film themselves doing said action and uploading it to YouTube, completely unaware that they were providing sexualized content for the commenter.
So fucking
it's an
awful.
Extremely sickening practice,
Thank
though
you.
one that thankfully has been drastically reduced through YouTube removing the comment sections on videos made by minors. This section has been brought to you by Mama Max. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm better than Nexpo and Nick Crowley combined. If you were to compare both of us, you'd...
I actually want to subscribe to his channel, but just flat out brass tacks. That dude has a voice that I could not listen to for very long. It is so unique and deep. I can't handle it.
Probably say they're like Krillin. And I'm like Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye now.
Jesus.
Thank you so much, Max. Everyone make sure to go not subscribe to him. From here on out, things are going to get even less brand friendly, and demonetization is pretty much inevitable. So I want to give a massive thank you to our sponsor, Upside, for making this video financially possible. It is no secret that here in the US, inflation has been a little rough lately. And by a little rough, I mean historically awful. And has led to most of us trying to find new ways to cut back by driving less or dining out less. But Upside offers a unique solution to this. Upside is an app that gives you cash back on your everyday purchases without the use of any special credit card.
I have no reaction to this.
All you do is go on the app, find a local offer that looks good to you, pay as usual, and then check in your purchase on the app, which will automatically earn you cash back. And the offers here are typically far better than your standard credit card. For example, I used Upside to get 5% cash back at a local restaurant, and even got 15 cents per gallon cash back from the gas station. These deals really do add up quickly and go a long way in counteracting the effects of inflation. Plus, it is so easy to implement and completely free. So if this is something you're interested in trying out, download the free Upside app and use code Crowley to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10.
Wait, what? How would they make this free? It's got to be a catch.
Or more.
Sorry. Oh shit, okay. We're at the bottom now. Uh-oh.
Linda Rogers' last video. Linda Rogers' last video refers to a tragic event that occurred back in February of 2018. Around this time, there had been a series of natural gas leaks that unfortunately resulted in...
I've heard about this. In fact, this is like 20 minutes away from where I live.
Number of houses
30?
Literally exploding in an instant. These leaks led to the deaths of 9 people across North and Central Texas, including the subject of this video.
This is
awful. The video itself is a time-lapse of 12-year-old Linda Michelita Rogers, who was supposed to be included in a morning-style vlog video she was creating. Unfortunately, though, this video would never be completed, as shortly into the time-lapse, one of these freak gas explosions occurs. In just a matter of 3 frames, you see Linda, electricity, and flames, and then smoke before it cuts to black. Linda did not survive the blast, leaving only this chilling clip to show what she was doing in her final moments, which her family...
That's so fucking weird. It's like a byproduct of YouTube and social media that this stuff is inevitably going to happen, and it's incredibly chilling. It's a weird fascination of watching people in their last moments. I don't know, morbid curiosity or something.
Family has since uploaded to bring awareness to this terrifying phenomena.
That's good that they did that.
Body in a Cooler. This entry deals with a clip that surfaced back in 2020, titled Found Dead Body in a Cooler at a Lake, in which a group of kids discover a long-abandoned cooler in the woods.
I think I know about this too. There's some sketchy shit here.
They're goofing around and laughing, as most kids at their age would. But things begin to grow more serious as they notice it's emitting a terrible smell. This group takes turns daring each other to open it, until someone finally does. And what they find inside is nearly indescribable. It's impossible to tell what it really is.
That is called trauma for life.
As the cooler was completely filled with what the kids first assumed to be dead fish. Though in the last 2 minutes of the video, they begin to realize that this may very well be something far more sinister, and they decide to call the police. The footage ends with no resolution, leaving an air of uncertainty surrounding their discovery.
I thought they did it with suitcases too.
Would soon emerge describing the alleged truth behind the substance found in the cooler, which read, "Update on this situation. It was a dead infant that was neglected and abandoned in that cooler filled with water. Location will not be disclosed due to privacy reasons. The validity of this video is something that is yet to be confirmed, meaning that this could quite possibly be a hoax. But something about the contents of that cooler seems all too real."
I must have been thinking of another thing.
Granny Ripper refers to a video on YouTube depicting the infamous Russian serial killer, Tamara Samsonova. Samsonova was arrested in July of 2015 on suspicion of 2 murders, but is now suspected of nearly 15. She has since become infamous, not only for her crimes, but for her old age, as at the time of her arrest, she was nearly 70 years old.
That's
Though this
insane.
didn't stop her from committing some of the most gruesome crimes imaginable. In the YouTube video, serial killer Granny Ripper filmed footage Russia. We see Samsonova standing in an inconspicuous blue parka captured by her apartment's CCTV. Carefully, she walks back and forth, bringing out what appears to be a covered pot. On the evening of July 26, the body of Samsonova's roommate, Valentina Nikolaevna Ulanova, was discovered decapitated with severed limbs, with it later being determined that within this very container was the actual head of Ulanova.
My god, some Jeffrey Dahmer shit.
On July 29th, 2015, thanks to the damning CCTV footage that has now been leaked to YouTube. Though what many have found most chilling about this video was the smile she gives upon her capture, even blowing a kiss to the camera.
That is some like Joker level psychoticness. I don't know if that's a word. It is now.
Clearly showing a complete lack of remorse for all the death she caused. The streamer finds a body. There have been a few instances of streamers happening upon a deceased person. This entry specifically refers to a video in which 2 streamers named Goo Cheese and Stop Speeding are streaming a casual walk down a sidewalk. Goo Cheese then mentions that when she had been walking by the same spot earlier, she had passed a homeless man who was not moving, though they had assumed that they were simply sleeping. However, upon walking past that same location, the 2 noticed that the man is still there.
Oh my god, this guy? Or no, it's not this guy.
This is, again, we're going to watch how the trauma for life is about to hit.
Someone was in like a bed sheet and I thought they were a dead body. You're not a dead body, are you?
The 2 joke around, attempting to get the attention of the man and wake him up. Though there is no response, this leads to one of the individuals feeling the arm of the man, only to discover that the body is freezing cold. The stream then devolves to chaos as Goo Cheese breaks down crying, with the reality setting in that the man has passed.
Decades of therapy. It is
a tragic scenario.
Not okay. Not for him.
Is lost, but also for the streamers who undoubtedly live with the trauma of discovering a dead body.
Yeah.
And all while they're just trying to have a normal...
Especially them being, or at least the one of them, you know, was a female. They normally take things harder than males. I mean, that's not, you know, always true, but still, damn, wouldn't like to be her.
Stream with their audience. The last selfie photo. The last selfie photo is a video showing what looks to be dozens of people clinging to the wheels of a plane as it prepares to take off.
What?
It quickly becomes clear that their idea here is to ride the plane the same way one would hitchhike a train. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. This video was recorded in August 2021 in Afghanistan, mere hours after the United States announced that they were withdrawing all military presence in the area. Okay. Many Afghan people realized that this country would soon fall to the Islamist extremist Taliban, and they did whatever they could to escape. And within this footage, we see a group of people attempting to do just that.
Okay, so they're on the wheel filming the people that aren't. You're about to get fucked up in the gears or something.
Though their attempts would be futile, as everyone who hung onto the plane either were crushed when the wheels shifted back into the plane's body, or fell to their deaths soon after liftoff. Their actions are unfortunately reflective of sheer desperation to escape, especially considering that even if they had managed to hang on somehow, their bodies would not have been able to withstand the extreme cold of that altitude, meaning that they were not going to make it either way. Thankfully, the video cuts off before we see the devastation firsthand, but the aftermath was likely extremely brutal.
I've seen something like that because I do have a morbid curiosity. I don't know, maybe he's going to show it here, but there's one that I saw stuck with me for quite a while. It was in China, and it was really hot apparently one day. So the mom took her son or daughter, I don't remember which one it was, but anyway, they were going to the mall to get out of the heat, and some fuckwad didn't fasten the panel on the escalator at the top. So the horrificness happens when they get to the top, because the mom falls in there and she basically just fucking yeets her baby forward, and then she immediately proceeds to get ground up by the inner workings of the escalator. It is incredibly gruesome. That one stuck with me. Don't know about that. Anyway.
Schizophrenia Dad refers to a video in which the uploader, Newsy Girl 2008, records her father in various stages of what appears to be a mental break, which is confirmed by the text at the beginning of the video, stating that this footage was recorded on the way to a psych ward.
Hello, Bride of Christ. This is your little servant boy, King of America.
It starts out with the dad addressing the camera, rambling nonsensically, before a darker turn.
Uh-oh. This motherfucker's gonna jump out.
The video cuts, and we can see the uploader's dad hanging out on the side of a car. You can hear the family members pleading for him to get back into the vehicle, though it's obvious that this episode had left him completely out of control. The video ends with footage of him flashing passing cars and smoking a cigarette while continuing his rambling. Delving into the comments section, the uploader reveals that prior to this video, her dad had been missing for weeks before returning and dragging her brother out of bed.
Wait, so that guy didn't jump out? Okay.
The comments go on to say, "My mom and I didn't know until we heard my brother cry out for help, but by then we were in the car and driving away. We thought he was going to kill my brother, but he came back and my brother told us he had drowned our dog in the river. He stripped naked, so Mom said, time to go to the hospital." It turns out the man in this video is named Roland Cannard, and unfortunately, he didn't make it very long after this video was recorded, as he died of suicide on November 25th, 2001, about a year after the footage was taken. Rapire. Rapire refers to another haunting bit of CCTV footage. In it, we see a bus preparing to let people off as people walk by idly on the sidewalk. About 45 seconds in, as riders exit the vehicle, a black car recklessly pulls up behind the bus and comes to a stop. A figure then emerges from the car and grabs one of the riders, a girl who was just 15 years old, and then forces her to the ground. After a few seconds off camera, they come back into frame and the man forces the person into the car. They then quickly take off into the night. This is a pretty cut and dry kidnapping, but what's most disturbing about this video is how the bystanders simply don't react.
Yeah, why didn't they
either stand
help
by
her?
and watch or continue their night as if nothing happened. A true case of the bystander effect in action.
Did it say where that was? Was it in China? Sorry, I'm gonna go back just a hair.
And grabs one of the riders. Fortunately, he didn't make it very long after this video was recorded.
I'll jump back here in a
as he
second.
died of suicide on November 25th, 2001, about a year after the footage was taken.
Sure.
Rapire. Rapire refers to another haunting bit of CCTV footage. In it, we see a bus preparing to let people off as people walk by idly on the sidewalk. About 45 seconds in, as riders exit the vehicle, a black car recklessly pulls up behind.
Okay, so
the
they
Blue
don't
Hole
tell.
is a famous diving spot located in Sinai, an area a few kilometers north of Dahab, Egypt.
Oh, this
Since
is
it's
actually
a sinkhole that reaches
crazy.
a depth of nearly 400 feet and lacks a current. Its popularity amongst divers has remained consistent for a long time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
However, this popularity has also led to it being one of the most frequent sites for diving fatalities in the world, with anywhere between 130 to 200 deaths occurring at the spot in recent years.
God damn.
This wide range of estimation means that you never know what you might find on a dive. And unfortunately, this YouTube video shows a diver coming face to face with the mortality of their hobby. The short video, taken at a depth of 367 feet, shows the POV of a diver shining his light on what appears to be a deserted oxygen tank. Though as he approaches, it quickly becomes obvious that the oxygen tank was attached to a long dead diver, who must have underestimated the danger of the Blue Hole. The identity of this diver has never been revealed. Annalise Michel audio. Throughout a 10-month span beginning in the year of 1975, a 23-year-old woman named Annalise Michel would undergo a series of exorcisms to rid her of what the priest believed to be a demonic possession.
I think I've heard
In reality,
this too.
Annalise Michel had been suffering from numerous seizures caused by epileptic psychosis, which
God, yeah. Yeah, somebody has something wrong with them like that. They immediately attribute it to demons or whatever without taking the proper care of them. I don't know. Fuck the world, man.
which was mistaken for possession. This led to a staggering 67 exorcisms being performed in secrecy on the woman, all at the expense of her receiving legitimate help for her medical issues. Throughout the span of these sessions, various records would be made documenting the girl's behaviors, which would be uploaded to YouTube years later, providing some truly haunting audio.
This is the deadly power of this profound habit. Oh,
Fuck. Well. Nine.
In the end, Annalise would never be cured of her supposed possession, and would ultimately die as a result of constant grueling exorcisms, as well as malnourishment she suffered as a result.
Fuck religion, man. We have places to treat that. Level 7, Dark Waters. Okay, Nexpo. Hey, everyone go watch Nexpo.
Finding a friend. On the evening of December 13th, 2019, a man by the name of Andre Grady had disappeared from his home in Newport, Virginia. Having been paralyzed in a drive-by shooting at the age of just 5, the disappearance was especially concerning, as his lack of mobility made it unlikely he left on his own accord. In the day following Andre last being seen, a group of his closest friends would band together to form a search party while live streaming the whole thing to further spread awareness in the community.
I've not heard of this one.
Hey, yo, we down here at 24th and Marshall, yo. We doing a search party for Dre, man. This shit don't make no sense out here, yo.
As the group continues filming, they eventually stumble across Andre's wheelchair marks in the grass leading to a nearby home. And upon checking the crawl space beneath it, they would find Andre's deceased body.
Of course they would. Don't like that.
What is it?
Yo, y'all go.
Nah, nope out.
He was beaten and shoved underneath the house, with no motive for the attack ever being discovered.
Senseless.
To this day, the mystery of who took Andre's life remains. But what's most heartbreaking about this clip is the fact that those who found him were his closest friends.
Oh, yeah.
Is that him? Wait, the police do that guy. Wait.
I don't like that. I don't like watching that.
The pain in their voices, to this day, makes this entire video extremely difficult to watch.
Yep.
Man tries to save drowning woman. On what should have been a fun trip to Spain, a group of travelers were spending the day by the sea. When looking for a challenge, one member of their group would jump into the water beneath a short cliff. The current was raging.
Yeah.
Though the lady believed that she'd be able to make it out safely. The sea's fury is unmatched, however, and she'd soon grow overwhelmed, getting tossed around like a rag doll.
God.
On the shore overlooking the struggling swimmer, a friend of the woman named Danilia Gagren would jump in and grab her in an attempted rescue.
Nah, she gonna die too.
Though he too stood little chance, as the two of them would ultimately succumb to the treacherous water.
Yeah, that's a big thing with like lifeguarding and stuff. Yeah, I personally haven't done it, but I had a best friend who did it in college. And he's saying, you know, if people are struggling, especially if you're not a lifeguard, you're just one of their friends or something, you know, don't go to them because they will drag you down and, you know, kill you while they kill themselves. Obviously not intentionally, but...
And standing helplessly above with the camera in hand was Danilia's wife, who had no choice but to just stand there.
God.
To watch them as their lives came to a very unfortunate end. Do you agree with euthanasia?
Yes.
This documentary follows the story of a woman named Michelle Goss as she prepares and then carries out her own euthanization.
Je ne l'ai plus, vous savez. Je perds mes mots, je perds la mémoire. Mais c'est très facile de passer de la vie à la mort. Maintenant, s'il vous plaît, je vais abattre cette potion, mais vous plaisantez. Mais enfin, c'est un jeu d'enfant.
She did this not because of any terminal illness, but rather due to a series of small manageable illnesses. She effectively decided to pass away on her own terms.
I totally agree with that.
In the video, we watch as Michelle legally obtains pentobarbital on her 74th birthday, a drug commonly used in places where self-euthanasia is legal.
Yeah.
The whole thing is incredibly eerie.
I think that pentobarbital is what they use in the cocktail for executions.
Despite the fact that Michelle remains completely calm throughout the entire process.
Sure.
And never wavers from her impending death.
Vous savez, je suis désolé, vous, le preneur de son, mais j'ai pas de dernier mot. J'aurais aimé avoir un dernier mot. Mais vous savez que Foucault disait, il n'y a plus rien à dire, hélas.
I 100%. I'm sorry, it's a very hot, you know, subject to talk about, but I'm completely on her side. I think going on a slight bit of a tangent, I know people are not going to agree with this, and that's okay. But being a person in this situation myself, you're like, oh, you know, if you kill yourself, it's going to be very painful for the ones around you. And they're not wrong whenever people say that. But I also think it's kind of selfish for the people around you, your loved ones. I think it's selfish for them that they want you to stay alive whenever you are going through this tremendous, tremendous pain and you want to stop, but you feel bad because you're going to make them feel bad. So you go on living with this fucking terrible chronic pain or illness or psychosis or whatever you want to call it. Like, I don't know. I thought about that a lot. I get it's selfless for you to kill yourself because it'll make other people happy, but should a person just go on being just completely overwhelmed with the distress and depression and all that just to make the people around you happy. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Comments below.
She even has friends over for a party to celebrate both her birthday and the day she was to die.
Écoutez, vous voulez vraiment mourir aujourd'hui?
Absolument.
Vous êtes persuadé de vouloir mourir?
I agree with her 100%.
Parce que si vous buvez ce médicament, vous vous endormez, vous allez mourir.
Oui.
Ça, c'est clair.
C'est ma volonté.
C'est votre volonté.
Oui.
Alors, je vous dis au revoir.
Adieu.
That's exactly how it should be. You know, you should have autonomy over your own body. To assuming you're in your right state of mind, you should be allowed to do that. It should. Orion!
C'est ma volonté ferme et définitive.
Michelle says her goodbyes as a friend makes the cocktail that would end her life in just a matter of minutes. And the video ends with Michelle passing away to the harmony of her favorite music.
Again, hot take. Good for her. She did it.
Posters up. Bro, I'm not even gonna try this. In Poland, a worker strike was taking place to protest the current conditions that medical personnel were facing. From what I could gather through some translated articles, it appears that the medics were demanding better resources, sick leave, and overall more balanced benefits. Not everyone agreed with the movement though, as their absence had a direct impact on patients in the area.
Yeah.
During this particular video, we see a group of the medics protesting on stage, further explaining their purpose for striking, when out of nowhere, a gunshot rings out.
O godzinie 18:30 zapraszamy na naszą konferencję prasową.
Oh shit. That's not good. Nope.
Nothing in this video is shown, but just off camera and directly in front of the people on stage, a man had taken out a handgun and taken his own life as a way of protesting the strike.
Wow.
There is something incredibly dark about the shock in the faces of those who witnessed this.
Wait, that guy that unalived himself was protesting against those people that were protesting against the strike? Orion! Stop. God, sorry, my cat just going insane.
Everyone's individual reaction was different.
Yeah.
One thing is for certain though, and it's that this event that they had just seen is likely going to have a lasting impact on the rest of their lives.
Yep. So the guy was...
On the 12th of June 2012, a car filled with two couples and a young child was driving down a two-lane highway in Russia. The car was equipped with a dash cam that would record a large truck passing by. Unbeknownst to them though, the truck was filled with bricks and...
Oh my God, I heard about this many, many years ago. This is one of the most fucked up things that I've ever seen. It's so random. This one's hard. This one's fucking terrible.
And out of nowhere, one would dislodge and fly directly at the car, crashing through its windshield at an unimaginable speed.
God.
Sitting in its direct path was 29-year-old Olga Gaikovich, who would be struck in the head, killing her instantly.
Yeah, killing her instantly. I mean, it's the most random act of God, I guess you would call it. Even though I am an atheist, that's the best term for it. You know, her head just instantly exploded. A brick going that fast. In fact, relative velocity, you know, if they're probably going 50 miles an hour, let's say the truck is going 50 miles an hour, just by the physics, that brick is going to appear to be going 100 miles an hour. And if you got a break hitting your fucking head at 100 miles an hour, that's it. I mean, I guess if you're going to go some way that quickly, that would be the way to go. But fuck, man.
This is the ultimate case of wrong place and very unfortunately wrong time.
Yeah.
And although this video is very well known, the screams and cries from her husband, who had been sitting right next to her, is absolutely gut-wrenching.
Yes.
It makes the entire video far too disturbing to show here tonight.
Really, he doesn't show it. If anyone's interested in that, I highly suggest looking it up. It is very traumatizing, though, even just watching that, because you can put yourself in his place. And I mean, I don't know what else is there to say. It's fucking terrible.
Yemen couple drowns. This entry refers to a video from April 12th, 2013 that shows a young couple filming themselves in a local body of water.
Yeah,
As the two joke around and pose for the camera, the man suddenly loses balance and slides down a steep drop-off beneath the surface. As he desperately tries to regain his footing, he then appears to instinctively grab his girlfriend, pulling her into the deeper water as well.
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. If you're not a professional and you go and try to help somebody, noble effort, don't get me wrong, but you are most likely also going to die just because of the franticness of the people struggling to not drown. They'll like grab onto you because they want to be pulled up. They're just going to pull you down. It's awful.
They both cling desperately to each other, trying to save themselves from drowning, but they only make it worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's just reality.
Instant, they both disappear, leaving nothing but the serene water and the sounds of nature.
That is incredibly haunting. And I believe this, I don't know if he said it at the beginning of this, but they were newlyweds. I think this was their honeymoon. He may have said that, and I have a shitty short-term memory and forgot. So.
Their bodies were found days later. Diving accidents. Many will agree that drowning would be one of the worst ways to go. But
actually, I was looking into drowning, not myself, of course, just morbid curiosity again. Apparently, drowning is probably not one of the worst ways to go. When I really did some research into it, I mean, before then, fuck that, drowning, but apparently it's actually not as bad as you would think, but you're still gonna die, so no real good way to go from that.
Which makes videos of fatal diving accidents all the more chilling. Most famously, Yuri Lipsky had attempted a free dive in a location known as Blue Hole, the same spot mentioned in the previous layer when things went horribly wrong. Yuri's descent became uncontrolled, and he fell to the bottom of the ocean way too quickly, causing him to suffer from nitrogen narcosis.
Yeah.
This put him in a drunken-like state, as he plummeted over 115 meters below the surface.
Yep.
While down there, he fights with his gear before realizing that he would not be able to make it back up.
Yeah, imagine that. Like, whenever you come up, and you have to reacclimate if you are doing deep sea dives, you get something called the bins. You may have heard of it, but it's like the nitrogen bubbling out of your bloodstream, because down there it dissolves in it. So you have to go down like really slowly to acclimate to it. But if you shoot up, your body is going to contort in such a way that you will die because you can't do anything. And this is the opposite of that. Imagine taking like 12 shots at once as you're diving down deep. I mean, it's insane.
And the moments he captured on his camera would be his final on Earth.
It's so crazy.
Another haunting account came from David Shaw, a decorated freediver who had set out on a retrieval mission in a particularly dangerous area. Prior to this, a fellow diver named Dion Dreyer had passed away in that very location and given the fact that David was one of very few actually willing to do a deep dive in that location, he would volunteer to retrieve the young man's body.
I don't think this is going to work out.
He did so while simultaneously trying to break a new diving record, which would be captured by a documentary crew filming the entire process.
Huh. Maybe he did.
Support divers will meet him at different depths. They'll bring him food and liquids and check his condition. An hour and a half into the dive, and an ominous message reaches the surface.
Uh-oh.
Bond's okay. Dive's okay.
Though in a tragic case of irony, David, on his descent down, would also perish after becoming tangled with the very corpse he set out to catch.
Yeah, I mean, I called it, but god damn, level 8, the Abyss. We're getting to weird fucking shit now.
The Jim Jones Death Tape 78. The Jim Jones Death Tape 78 is a 44-minute recording of the moments before and during the Jonestown Massacre, a mass suicide/murder carried out in 1978, where 909
shit. I haven't heard this.
People would tragically lose their lives. The cult, known as the People's Temple, had been convinced by their leader Jim Jones to drink cyanide-laced Kool-Aid, under the belief that the group was soon going to be exposed, while those who refused to drink the poison concoctions were forcibly injected with cyanide. The guards had even been instructed to shoot any members who had attempted to flee. Shockingly, all of this was captured by an audio recording that can now be found on YouTube in a slightly edited version, and it's honestly one of the hardest things you'll ever listen to.
How very much I've tried my best to give you the good life.
No. Fucking applauding.
But in spite of all of that I've tried, a handful of our people, with their lives, have made our life impossible. There's no way to detach ourselves from what's happened today.
The fuck?
As Jones speaks to his people, you can hear the sounds of death in the background, and most disturbingly, the sounds of children being comforted by their parents as they pass away.
God damn.
Aeroflight 593. Aeroflight 593 refers to the infamous Russian commercial airline crash that killed all 75 people on board, with the plane having fallen from the air not because of some sort of malfunction, but because of an extremely unfortunate mistake. In the cockpit, the pilot would allow his 12-year-old daughter and 16-year-old son to stand alongside him as he flew the plane. He even went as far as to allow his son to take over the wheel as the plane had been in autopilot. However, the son would end up turning the wheel too hard in one direction, causing the plane to switch to manual steering and immediately plummet towards the ground below. From there, the pilots desperately tried to regain control of the falling plane, unaware of what was actually happening, with the whole struggle having been recorded, eventually being posted onto YouTube.
Wow. Holy shit, that little kid killed everybody. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Oh my god, yeah, no, not gonna happen. Oh man,
the terror in the voices of everyone in the cockpit is extremely dark. And
like this is some shit that I would do on Flight Simulator because I'm awful. Like, who's gonna think it's a good idea to give the kid control over a fucking big airplane? Like, okay, I get it. Like, when I was really, really young, I used to live out in the country, and, you know, my dad would sit me in his lap and he would let me, quote unquote, drive the car. He was still driving, you know, but bro, you don't do this shit with the fucking airliner.
And made all the more horrific as the plane crashes into the mountain range below, killing everyone on board.
Yeah.
Most tragically, it would later be revealed that if the pilot had simply taken his hands off the wheel, the plane would have automatically corrected itself and re-engaged the autopilot.
Wow.
The Astro World clips. On the 5th of November 2021, Travis Scott had been hosting his annual Astro World Festival at NRG Park in Houston, Texas.
This was very recent as of me watching this, and I used to live in Houston. I live in DFW area now, but yep, this is not very far away from where I used to live. Long time ago. Still.
When things erupted into chaos. Upon Travis arriving on stage at approximately 9:02 p.m., the massive crowd of fans pushed towards the stage, causing one of the most horrific occurrences, a human crush. People were squeezed against the barriers and crushed to the point that many were unable to breathe, all the while desperately calling out for help. But
I've been in my fair share of mosh pits at metal concerts. I cannot even imagine this. Like, clearly many people died, but fuck, how bad it must have been. You know, shit. And then the what is his name? Travis, whatever. Like he like spun it in the way of like, oh yeah, whenever you come to my concert, you better be ready because shit's getting wild. Something to that effect. It's like, yeah, people might die, but they knew what they were signed up for whenever they came here. It's like, dude, get the fuck off of it.
help never came. And instead, over 300 people would be left injured, with 10 sadly losing their lives. For this entry, picking one video to show the chaos would be impossible, as so many accounts exist on YouTube from that day. And what is most prominent throughout these clips is the helplessness of it all, as the victims were left to their own devices in that crowd. And with the power of that many people pushing against you, death was always inevitable.
It's insanity.
The station nightclub fire. Flashing back to yet another concert disaster, this event took place on the 20th of February 2003. That night, a band called Great White had been performing at a nightclub called The Station, when their pyrotechnics would accidentally ignite the acoustic foam on the walls and ceiling surrounding the stage.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
Almost immediately, the venue was set ablaze and covered in a thick black smoke. As a result, the crowd all rushed towards the exit and became trapped due to the high number of people trying to fit through the small doors. Desperate to escape, people would try and shove their way out, but this only made things more jammed. And before long, the smoke would cause many so tantalizingly close to the exit to perish.
Gosh, can you imagine?
As a result, 100 people would lose their lives, with footage of the event later being posted to YouTube. And what has always stood out to me with this footage is just how fast it all happened, as within just moments, the fate of so many concert goers was sealed.
I feel there was a new movie that came out. I don't know how new it was. Relatively new. I've never seen any of them. It's like the VHS series, like the horror series, which again, I've never seen any of them, but I did try and begin watching the most recent one. And I think they got inspiration from this because it was underground. I guess these kids are going to pay, I don't know, tribute or homage or something to them, and it's kind of the same situation where it was underground. Tons of people died. The band died. I don't think the band died in this, but anyway, that's useless information to you.
The Versailles Wedding Hall disaster video. Perhaps one of the most infamous disaster videos ever taken. The footage shows a packed dance floor within the Versailles Wedding Hall.
This is very, very hard to watch too.
Hall in Jerusalem on the evening of the 24th of May 2001. The event itself was a wedding for Karen and Asaf Dror, a young couple from the area who drew in hundreds of guests who are seen here dancing and having a good time. However, things take a drastic turn as the floor below them begins to sag and eventually gives way.
This is awful. I mean, that's it.
In total, 23 people would fall to their deaths, with hundreds more being left seriously injured. An investigation would later reveal that faulty construction was to blame, along with negligence from the owner.
So I think with that, it was cheap materials, which you hear about a lot in situations like this, where the structures are just not in, they don't have a good integrity to them. But I believe also the floor that they were on was the top floor, the third floor, I believe. But the construction was only for a 2-story building. So they were like, fuck it, add another one on, which you just can't do that. Like, you have to plan for it. And they're like, nah, fuck that. Make it 3 floors. Keep the same schematics, just put another floor up. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. You're going to have a bad time. And you know what? These people had a bad time.
The Beirut explosion. Of all the disaster videos found on YouTube, few are as shocking as those depicting the Beirut explosion. On the 4th of August 2020, a building known as Warehouse 12, located in the port of Beirut, would catch fire. And having been filled to the brim with ammonium nitrate and fireworks, the blaze would quickly result in an explosion. Following the initial blast, onlookers would record the ordeal, in which you can actually see the flashes from the fireworks within the smoke. Although, much to these onlookers...
I don't know why that's funny. It shouldn't be funny. It's pretty funny to me. I don't know. Gallows humor. I don't know.
The surprise, the destruction wasn't finished yet.
Whatever.
As suddenly, another explosion would occur, with this one being much larger.
Yeah. Not probably. God damn it. I don't know. I don't know why that's funny. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Look at, oh, my God. Holy fuck.
Within moments, the entire area is seemingly blown to pieces, with the power of the blast alone being enough to cause buildings in the vicinity to crumble instantly, and the blast itself triggering seismic activity equivalent to a magnitude 4.5 earthquake.
That is a
As
fucking
a result,
nuke.
the area was left completely decimated, with 200...
Okay, he said something little about me. Decimate to me means a removal of 1/10, and people keep using it as the word obliterate. It does not mean that. Decimate means a removal of 1/10, not a wipeout of everything. Sorry, pet peeve. Dessa, it's like in the name. Sorry, shut the fuck up. Just please. I would say don't use the word decimate, but I know everyone will do that if I say that. So I don't know. But anyway, let's go.
18 people tragically losing their lives. Much like other disasters of this magnitude, it was captured in numerous videos, all of which proved to be equally as disturbing, with most of these clips eventually finding their way to YouTube.
That's insane. I haven't seen that.
The Challenger explosion. Of all the disasters discussed so far, this one is particularly morbid thanks to a few utterly depressing details. On the 28th of January 1986...
Yeah, I'm very, very familiar with this story and the footage and everything. Being an astronomer, astrophysicist, whatever. This is... I mean, it's just awful. especially because the first teacher was on there, and she didn't make it, obviously, and all the children, like in every fucking school, was watching this. So you probably have millions of children that need therapy right now.
The United States attempted to launch a space shuttle named Challenger, only for it to explode just moments into its journey.
Yeah.
All 7 crew members would sadly lose their lives, with one of which being a woman named Krista McAuliffe.
Yeah.
Krista was actually a teacher at the time, who was personally selected to partake in the mission after applying for the NASA Teacher in Space project.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Brent.
Simple question, why you?
It's really hard to say.
Yeah.
What's a dream come true for you?
Oh, it certainly is.
And sadly, her entire class had been watching at the time she was killed,
I think
along
a lot
with
of people
countless
were
other
watching.
classrooms across the United States.
Yeah, exactly.
Making matters even more horrible, the second place finisher for the contest, a woman named Barbara Morgan, was actually present at the launch and served as backup for Krista should she not be able to go.
Can you even imagine dodging a bullet like that? Metaphorical bullet. Seth MacFarlane did the same thing, creator Family Guy, American Dad, all that. He got drunk one night, woke up the next morning, missed his flight, and he was sitting down watching it, and it was on 9/11, and he was watching those towers, and I've seen the interview with him, and I think all he did was turn to the person next to him and just told him, yeah, I was supposed to be on that plane. Can you even imagine?
Her reaction to the incident was filmed live.
Yeah, people didn't know if that was right or not. If it was supposed to do that, it definitely was not.
Will I get down?
I don't even know how. It's almost.
I can't
like,
even imagine.
It's got to be like some kind of survivor's guilt or something.
What must have been going through her mind watching the shuttle explode, knowing that she had so narrowly missed out on being on board. And this isn't even the only disturbing detail, as it would be later theorized that the crew aboard the Challenger almost certainly survived the initial blast. The main cab remained intact despite the explosion, meaning that they were still alive and likely conscious as they fell to the water below, with the impact being their true cause of death.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I don't know if I believe that, because you can see a lot of the debris and everything fly off when that happened, and I don't know. I've never seen the capsule, and you would think that would be kind of easy to spot, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. They probably do see it and figured out that they died on impact. I don't know. I didn't see the capsule. The fuck is this? Void. Oh, this has got to be the real fucked up shit.
Congratulations on making it to the very bottom of this iceberg, and in turn the very depths of YouTube. This level is filled with the content here on YouTube that, for one reason or another, truly strikes a chord with me. Some of these entries will be too graphic to show, but I'll do my best to walk you through them regardless. Man in the Suitcase. In February of 2020, a woman named Sarah Boone would call 911 reporting that she had found her boyfriend George Torres unconscious in a suitcase within their home. According to the woman, the two had been playing a game of hide-and-seek the night before when Torres decided to hide within an empty suitcase. Unable to find him,
how big was the motherfucking suitcase?
Sarah would give up her
Holy
search
shit.
and accidentally fall asleep, leaving Torres trapped in the luggage where he would eventually suffocate to death. Or at least that was the story she was trying to tell. Unsurprisingly, this version of events just seemed too bizarre to be believed, and upon investigating the matter further, police would eventually find a video on Sarah's phone that immediately dismantled the narrative she was trying to weave.
Yeah, how the fuck would he?
The video shows
zip
the
himself
suitcase with George inside of it, begging and pleading for Sarah to help him.
Oh my
To
gosh.
which she instead ignores him.
Wow.
Fuck you. Sarah. Stupid. Sarah. That's my name. Don't wear it out.
During the video's runtime, we can see
Holy
George desperately
shit.
trying to escape as he presses against the sides of the tiny piece of luggage. But there was quite literally nothing he could do. Those zippers had sealed him in and trapped him at the mercy of Sarah, and her mind was already made up.
He's whatever the equivalent of being buried alive is. Like, that's what he experienced without the bury part. God damn. That's so fucked up.
Torres would eventually die a slow and brutal death due to
Oh.
asphyxiation,
Oh
with it
my
later being
gosh.
revealed that Sarah had drunkenly forced him into the bag and closed the zipper, ending his life in one of the most chilling ways I could ever imagine. For Our Son.
Jesus.
On October 8th, 2008, a video tribute titled For Our Son was posted to YouTube, memorializing a young man who had lost his life in the Jokela High School massacre. The incident took place almost a full year before, on November 7th, 2007, where an 18-year-old named Pekka Erik Ovin would enter Jokela High School with a loaded handgun and begin firing on the students. Tragically, 9 people would lose their lives,
Finland?
including the gunman. Knowing this video was made by the parents of a boy who lost their life in the incident makes it all so depressing, as it shows a slideshow of their son growing older and older throughout the years. A growing process that would be abruptly cut short due to his shocking and traumatic death, and one can only imagine the grief that these parents were experiencing and likely continue to experience to this very day, as there's nothing worse than losing a child. Though there's something slightly off about this video, as around halfway through, things take a unusual and unexpected turn. As the young boy in the photos gets older and older, we begin to see what he may have looked like during the time of the shooting, to which it soon becomes apparent that this family son was not actually a victim, and instead, he was the perpetrator, the man behind the massacre. Blind Date. Blind Date was an art piece carried out by John Duncan, a man best known for his extreme and in this case highly disturbing performance art. Leading up to the project, Duncan had experienced the collapse of a long-term relationship, and feeling empty and angry that he had wasted so much time on something that inevitably failed, he wanted to punish himself.
Yeah. Is that me? Is this me? Because I know exactly how he feels.
This eventually gave him the idea that he would get a vasectomy, and thus take away his ability to ever have children in the future. But being the eccentric artist that he is, he viewed this punishment as an opportunity to base his next performance off, which is where Blind Date comes into play. Knowing that he would soon be losing his ability to have children, Duncan decided to use what he described as his last potent seed on this project, and he wanted it to carry a deeper symbolic meaning. So he hatched the idea of purchasing a deceased body, having intercourse with it, and then sewing their body closed before its burial, thus burying his final seed as well. And this is something that he would not only imagine, but actually carry out, traveling to Tijuana where a mortician allowed him to use a body at the cost of $80. Duncan's original plan was to film the entire ordeal and then display the film at an art installation, but the mortician forbade him from using a camera, so he instead used an audio recorder to capture the sounds of him and this corpse. To this day, that audio can be found.
That's where we differ. I don't fuck corpses, so just I regret what I said at the beginning of this story.
Right here on YouTube.
Immediately. Instantly.
Jimmy's Wish. This is a channel that I've been wanting to cover for years now, but the graphic nature of it has pretty much ruled out a full-scale deep dive. The videos on this channel consist of a young boy named Jimmy who is shown laying in a hospital bed, connected to countless tubes and machines that are presumably keeping him alive. The visuals are horrible, as in most clips and images it's clear that he is suffering and completely unresponsive to the world around him, which begs the question, how did this happen? Well, the channel itself was set up
Wait, how do we know he's suffering if he's completely devoid of response to the world around him, as he says? That's
by Jimmy's father, who claims his son's condition is a result of his doctors suffocating him with a plastic bag.
She needs your help now. My son's ribcage is collapsing into his heart and lungs, and he is running out of time. His shoulders and hips are broken and disconnected, and repeatedly and cruelly denied medical intervention. The doctors know he will clearly die, and the doctors know the police will not investigate. My son was suffocated with a plastic bag by 2 Japanese doctors and 2 nurses.
Though this of course is just one side of the story, as some believe that the father is merely consumed by grief, which has understandably caused him to slowly lose his mind. But either way, the full truth of this channel is not really known today. And putting the disturbing mystery element aside, it is truly one of the darkest and most tragic channels the site has ever seen, as the pain this child and his father are experiencing is all too real.
It's crazy.
Cultural Philistine. On December 14th, 2012, a 20-year-old named Adam Lanza would enter Sandy Hook Elementary armed with weapons and proceed to start shooting, leading to the deaths of 26 people.
The fucking school shootings, guys. I've been in a lockdown with an active shooter whenever I was teaching at college. It's incredibly terrifying. You have to hide under your desk because that's just procedure. And there's a point when you're under there and all the kids and stuff are not kids, really. All the students are there under their chair, and you got to wonder, like, it's a very real time. I thought it's like, oh, well, is this it? This is how it ends? I mean, it obviously wasn't, but, and then there was another time here in Dallas whenever there was a riot and a bunch of police people got shot, and they had to go catch the perpetrator, and they blew him up in the parking garage of a Dallas County College campus. And I did work at DCC, not at that particular campus, but still I was under their employ, and that was a real fucking weird feeling too.
Not including his mother, whom he would also kill along with himself. Since the slaying, multiple clips have emerged of Lanza, most notably playing DDR at his local arcade, a game that he was said to be obsessed with, playing for hours and hours on end each day. Though he also had a YouTube channel that went by the name of Cultural Philistine. The reason behind this name itself is still unconfirmed, but one chilling theory has emerged, as users on Reddit would discover an old book from 1988 that too was titled Cultural Philistine. And in a haunting coincidence, the author's name was Cindy Hook, insinuating that Lanza had always planned on making Sandy Hook his target, and the clues were there all along.
Wow.
The videos themselves are quite disturbing, featuring a black screen and just the sound of Lanza's voice.
School is such a great place. You get to learn stuff.
I think that book said Sydney, not Cindy. I don't know.
I'm a better person to make a better tomorrow. And I think, well, what is school? School is culture. Basically, it's cultural indoctrination.
No.
I don't choose to do it. Why am I expecting to accomplish anything before I do it?
The fuck?
And though this alone is highly distressing, there's one reason why I chose this channel as the final entry for this iceberg. The Sandy Hook massacre happened all the way back in 2012, and since then, people have poured an obscene amount of time into documenting Lanza's life, poring over every single online posting, every writing, and any trail he may have left behind. He's by far one of the most well-studied killers in the internet age. But despite all this, Cultural Philistine, his own personal YouTube channel, was only discovered just last year. Despite being live for over a decade, it wouldn't be until 2021 that this channel belonging to Lanza would be found. With the millions and millions of people who have studied Adam Lanza, one of the most evil people to ever exist on this earth, no one ever found his YouTube channel.
That's
It just
insane.
sat there for years and years and years, dormant in the shadows. And if a channel belonging to him could have gone unnoticed for so long, then just imagine what else is out here, hiding in those same shadows. It's a horrifying and fascinating idea all at the same time, and it all truly leaves me to wonder what we'll uncover next.
That's insane. I didn't know that. Obviously, I didn't
With
know
that, we have officially reached the end of YouTube's Darkest Iceberg. I want to give a massive thank you to Mama Max, Barely Sociable, Nexpo, and Disturbin. Having you be a part of this is super special to me, and I hope this was special for all of you watching at home, as a fun way to kind of celebrate this amazing genre that we're all part of. And of course, thank you Cadaver, Wendigoon, and Blame It on Jorge, who helped out in part 1. I feel so lucky to share this site with all of you, and whoever is not subbed to each and every one of these fantastic creators, you are greatly missing out. I hope to do another big collaboration with some other creators next Halloween, and maybe even every Halloween here on out, if that's something that you all are interested in, because honestly I had so much fun working on this. And finally, I want to thank my amazing patrons, who have helped me out so much throughout the years, with a special shout out to my god tier patrons, Alexander Durant.
Anyway, I'm gonna stop it there. This is Nick Crowley's channel. You should definitely go sub to it. I'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna cut the video and stream right there. If you like it, do all the you know, YouTube shit. Just, like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Anyway, yeah, so I do stream every night if you want to, you know, hang out. In fact, I was streaming this, so that's cool. And yeah, well, give me something else to react to, because clearly you guys like this horror stuff, and I hope I can add a little bit to it with my own personal thoughts and everything. I don't really like doing videos if I can't add anything meaningful to it, but I think I have here. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're on the stream, if you're watching this on YouTube, like the video version of this, I appreciate it so much. Thanks for 100 subs. I know it's a pathetically low number, but you know, doing that grind. But anyway, all right, thank you everybody, and I will see you later tomorrow on stream. All right, yeah, take it easy. Bye.